Well, this young man is no stranger to LA Third Church. He's been speaking, I think, of at LA Third for over 35 years. He's been nicknamed the Code Cracker. That's because he breaks it down and we truly get the message. His mastermind class on Tuesdays is truly off the hook. So without further ado, let us welcome our Reverend Ahman.
Outline from which I will speak, but included in the pages, don't separate the pages, is one group, they're all folded, so we don't need to separate them. You have 2 index cards, hopefully, in them, and I'm going to give you instructions on what to do with these 2 index cards as soon as I see that they're passed out. In the meantime, I'll go on with the subject here, and that is, it is already done. I am in Barbados. Now, I'm going to share a story that is written in this handout, but I'm going to use it as a parable. And the topic, I am in Barbados, is a metaphor. I am in Barbados. I want you to hold in mind that this is just a metaphor. A metaphor means that it represents and means something different for us. And what is it a metaphor for? It is a metaphor for your knowing that your prayer is already answered. Whatever it is that your prayer desire is for a personal body healing, or change in circumstances in your life, or to achieve something, or to go someplace or get rid of something, or whatever it is, it's already done. Barbados is a metaphor for that. Now, I am going to take you to Barbados. You know, we started some weeks ago making a decision to recognize and understand the spiritual meaning of this term benediction. You remember that? Well, my message today is to deepen your understanding on the meaning of the spiritual meaning of benediction. You see, traditionally at the end of a church service, religious service, someone comes at the end and gives thanks for what has been received during that service, and they call that the benediction. We are peculiar people. We think peculiarly. We think spiritually is just the reverse. Almost everything is the reverse. We see the beginning as the end. I mean, the end as the beginning. So the benediction means that I'm giving thanks for what I've already received, or why not give thanks for what you have already received in the spirit world? Deja vu. How many times have you ever experienced, I've been here before? I've done this before. I keep remembering. I keep remembering deja vu. Seems like I've known you long ago. Well, listen to all of that. That's past. Past. We want to rewind and unwind that kind of thinking. Long ago to me, to us means long ago there, not long ago back there. Oops. I think you caught it. We say this stuff is caught, not taught. So on your index cards, you have two. One is your affirmation, to be used as your affirmation, not now, but take this with you. And on one side, you're going to write, it's already done. Don't type it. There's spiritual power in writing. Write it in large letters. It is already done. And you're going to carry this with you until your stuff has come. On the flip side, you're going to write, it is all, I am already there. The first side, it's already done. On the other side, I am already there. Whatever it is. On the other card is write your prayer desire. I didn't say prayer request. Your prayer desire. And that's your Barbados. Metaphorically speaking, that's your Barbados. My topic is, I am in Barbados. All right? But I'm going to tell you how. How do you get to Barbados? The first step is understanding, acknowledging that you don't know how. I don't know how. I cannot tell you how. But I can tell you how some of my experiences have come to pass. But before they came to pass, I didn't know how. Now, the story that I'm going to share with you, I have to go through pretty fast because it's a long story. And it's about Neville, one of my foremost teachers in the spirit world, but through his books. He's an author of many books. Juanita Dunn, one of my primary teachers when I first came into this movement, was a student of Neville in the sense that she studied the books that I'm studying. This is how I was introduced to it. But she also attended his lectures at the Wilshire Ebell Theater long time ago. So she knew Neville. And Neville's teacher was an Ethiopian mystic back in around 1930s, late 20s and 30s. And that's going to be revealed here in this writing here. But I'm going to read you his story. And I want you to get into it from a parabolic sense and understand that he's telling your story. He says, let me tell you why I am doing what I am doing today. Now, this is probably 20, 30 years after this experience, this demonstration that he's talking about, and he's looking back. Let me tell you why I am doing what I am doing today. It was back in 1933 in the city of New York, and my old friend Abdullah, a mystical Ethiopian rabbi with whom I studied Hebrew for 5 years, was really the beginning of the eating of all my superstitions. When I went to Abdullah, I was filled with superstitions. I couldn't eat meat, I could not eat fish, I could not eat chicken, I could not eat any of those things that were living in the world. Anybody here got those kind of, you know people like that. I did not drink, I did not smoke, and I was making a tremendous effort to live a celibate life. That wasn't easy. Ab said to me, I'm not going to tell you you are crazy, Neville, but you are, you know. All these things are stupid. But I could not believe they were stupid. In November 1933, I bade goodbye to my parents in the city of New York as they sailed for Barbados. You know, Barbados is a faraway Caribbean island.
Huh?
I had been in this country 12 years. Listen to this. Woo! With no
Carefully.
desire
It's crazy through out there.
to see Barbados. This is very important to put a pin in this right now before we go through this long story. Let's remember this. Remember that I had no desire to go to Barbados. Now he's telling you why. But he wasn't acknowledging and admitting it. You see, you have unfulfilled desires, unrealized desires, and they're not realized because you're in denial about the reason why. Here's his reason. I was not successful, and I was ashamed to go home to successful members of my family. After 12 years in America, I was a failure in my own eyes. Well, there's a deeper reason for this, accountable reason for this that's understandable why he was not successful. And that will be told in just a minute further in the story. Before you understand the real reason behind it, look at what's happening here. One day. One day. So there's hope. So then, whatever it is that is unrealized in your life, whatever it is, a wall or whatever it is,
That what you're going with today?
the one day
No.
can be this day for you that things begin to change. Everybody has a one day. So this was his one day. One day as I came up the street, something. The voices of creation sang about that something. 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 One day as I came up the street, something possessed me with the desire to go to Barbados. All of a sudden, things are changing. Been here 12 years, never had a desire to go, but one day, something possessed me with the desire to go to Barbados. I want you to think about your one days when something suddenly changed in your life and you had a desire to do something that you had forgotten, that was suppressed. Something takes hold of you. I went straight up to my friend Ab and I said to him, Ab, the strangest feeling is possessing me. So when I'm asking you to write on this card, your prayer desire, healing in the body, a desire to make a breakthrough in some area of your life, some aspiration, some dream, or to get rid of something or whatever it is, that desire has possessed you and it's not letting you go. Once that desire possesses you, shut up, get back, and let it go. That's your one day. Your one day has come. For the first time in 12 years, now he's telling Ab, I want to go to Barbados. Do you know how much it cost to go to Barbados in 1931 during the Depression? $3,000. By ship. They didn't have Uber. There are places you want to go. There's things that you want to do. There are things that you want to have. There are things that you want to change. Think about it. There are things that you want to release. So this is your one day. Page 2 of your pass out. What did Ab say to him? If you want to go, Neville. Thank you. You have what? Gone. See, Ab was his spiritual teacher. He had been with Ab 5 years, a Hebrew teacher. If you want to go, Neville, you have gone. Is that got anything to do with the past? Future. You have gone. We're learning how to pray right. This is teaching you how to pray right.
Wait,
You
wait,
have gone.
wait,
That was very strange language to
wait.
me. I'm in New York City, and he tells me I have gone to Barbados. It was the year 1933. I was unemployed. This is why he was broke. I had no
Wait.
place to go except a little room on 72nd Street. This was during the Depression, y'all. There were no jobs. He was and what was his skill, his art, his talent? He was a dancer on Broadway. There were no Broadway plays during the Depression.
Heel.
Page 3, I said to him, "What do you mean I have gone, Al?" He said, "Do you really want to go?" I answered, "Yes." He then said to me,
Front. Free.
"As you walk through this door now, you're not walking on 72nd
No,
Street. You are walking on palm-lined streets, coconut-lined streets. This is Barbados. I'm teaching you how to pray, how I pray." Now, do not ask me how you are going to go. You are in Barbados now. You do not say how when you are there. Travis, ain't that right? If you're there, how can you talk about how? How? There is no how if you're already there. Now you walk as though you were there. I went out of his place in a daze. I am in Barbados. I have no money. Can anybody relate to this? I have no job. Can anybody relate to this? You put all, come on, fill in the blank. I'm like, come on. Shut up. He was not the kind of person, he says, Al was not the kind of person with whom you could argue. 2 weeks later, I was no nearer my goal than on the day I first told him I wanted to go. I said to him, Al, I trust you implicitly, but here's one time I can't see how this is going to work. I have not one penny towards my journey. I began to explain. You know what he did? He was as black as the ace of spades, my old friend Al, with his turban head. As I sat in his living room, he rose from his chair, went towards his study, and slammed the door, which was not an invitation to follow him. As he went through the door, he said, I have said all that I have to say. Now, on the 3rd of October, let's get that wrong. On the 3rd of December, come back, lost my form. On the 3rd of December, I stood before Ab and told him again I was no nearer my trip. He repeated his statement, you are in Barbados. Let's say I am in Barbados. I am in Barbados. Come on. I am in Barbados. One more time. I am in Barbados. It is already done. Come on. It is already done. Come on. It is already done. One more. It is already done. I'm talking about whatever it is your prayer desire is. That Barbados is just a metaphor for that. The very last ship sailing for Barbados that would take me there for the reason I wanted to go. I need you to put a pin in that because that's going to be explained in 2 or 3 more paragraphs. For the reason I wanted to go, which was to be there for Christmas. It sailed at noon on December 6th. It was to be there for Christmas. Remember, this sudden desire possessed him to go to Barbados to be there for Christmas. Not a penny. How is he going to get there? So on the morning of December 4th, having no job, having no place to go, I slept late. Something is about to happen. Something is about to happen. Well, let's leave the story and go to the Bible. Jeremiah 29 says this. God says, "For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. They are plans for good and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. In those days when you pray, I will listen. You will find me when you seek me, if you look for me in earnest." Got that? I'm just throwing that in for a little dressing. Isaiah 30, just throwing this in. This is not in the story. I'm just telling you the scriptures this is based on, the truth this is based on. Isaiah 30. "Whether you turn to the right or turn to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, 'This is the way. Walk in it.'" You'll always hear that voice. You always do hear it, not will. You always hear that voice saying, "This is the way. Walk in it." Sometimes you just ignore it and go on about your business and take care of your own stuff. You're just too busy. God is always directing you. You choose not to listen. You choose not to follow. You choose not to act on it. Come back later and say, "I messed up." No. John 14:3. I'm just giving you the scriptures that all of this is based on. This is not in his story. I'm just telling you what he was working from. John 14:3. Now that I is your imagination. "I go to prepare a place for you." Your imagination is always going before you to prepare to Barbados. It goes before you to Barbados, and it comes back and brings you to Barbados. "I go to prepare a place for you, and if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am in Barbados, there you will be also." That's the Christ mind in you. Back to page 5, the bottom, it said, remember he fell asleep. "When I got up, there was a cash app, I forgot. That was 1933. They didn't have Cash App and Venmo then. But they had something called airmail. Airmail. And airmail didn't get there until the plane crossed. It was still some days before it got there, even though it was airmail. It was under my door. Remember now, he had not been in communication with his family. Right? They knew nothing about his desire to go to Barbados, but look what happens. Then suddenly, he said, "I opened the letter, and a little piece of paper flickered to the floor. I picked it up, and it was a draft, meaning a check for $50. And the letter was from my brother Victor, and it read, now $50 was a lot of money during the Depression, y'all. You could buy a whole lot of things. You could throw a party, and you could jam for $50. Everybody gets something. The letter was from my brother Victor, and it read, "I'm not asking you to come, Neville. This is a command. We have never had a Christmas party. We have never had Christmas when all the members of our family were present at the same time." Isn't it strange how their minds are now? Now they're not in communication. This Christmas, it could be done if you would come. Now, my older brother Cecil left home before the youngest was born, and then we started to move away from home at different times. So never in the history of our family were we ever all together at the same time. The letter continued, "If you're not working," no, not yet. And the letter continued, "You are not working. I know there's no reason why you cannot come, so you must be here before Christmas. The enclosed $50 is to buy a few shirts or a pair of shoes that you may need for the trip. You will not need tips. Use the bar if you're drinking. I will meet the ship and pay all your tips that you've incurred and expenses. I have sent a cable to the ship, and told them to issue you a ticket when you appear at their office. The $50 is simply to buy some little essentials you may sign as you want aboard the ship. I will meet it and take care of all obligations. So I went down to the ship with my letter and let them read it. They said, oh, we received the cable, Mr. Goddard. But unfortunately, okay, here comes some little hang-ups. They're bound to happen. So what? I am in Barbados. It does not matter what happens between now and then. Nothing is going to start me to doubt or to look down or get all crazy and get off track. I am in Barbados. Stuff is going to happen. God knows it's going to happen. It's part of the unfolding of the plan. So I went down to the ship with my letter and read it. And they said, we received the cable, Mr. Goddard.
Okay, tell them why hi.
But something has happened. We have not any space
Hey,
left for the December
how you
6th
doing?
sailing. The only thing available is third class
So how's the
between
shop
New York
going?
and St. Thomas. When we get to St. Thomas, we have a few passengers who are getting off. You may then
Ina,
ride
please
first
mute
class from
yourself.
St. Thomas to Barbados. But between New York and St. Thomas, you must go third class. I said, I'll take it. So I went back to my friend Ab and said, Ab, it worked like a dream. I told him what I had done, thinking he would be happy. Do you know what that black man told me? He said, who told you that you were going third class? Did I see you in Barbados, the man you are going third class? You were in Barbados and you went first class. My Lord, was he bad? Was he bad? And you went. Oh, has your mind changed about benediction? Has your mind changed about the past and the future? And what the future is and where the future is and what the future means? Your now is determining your future right now. The thoughts that you're holding right now are controlling that. That future is alterable. That future can be changed. That future is not fixed. If it was fixed, it would be fate. But it's not fate, it's destiny, and destiny can be altered and changed. Page 7, you are in Barbados. I did not have one moment to see him again before I sailed on the noon of December 6th. When I reached the dock, I do not have one moment to see him again before I sailed. Page 7. When I reached the dock with my passport and my papers to get aboard that ship, the agent said to me, we have good news for you, Mr. Goddard. There has been a cancellation and you are going first class. See, I told you, God already got this thing covered. If you just shut up and go on just because you ran out of gas or just because, somebody made you mad or just because you got a bump on your leg. I am in Barbados. Ab taught me the importance of remaining faithful to the idea and not compromising. I wavered, but he remained faithful to the assumption that I was in Barbados and had traveled first class. Feast on the idea, become identified with the idea as though you were already that embodied thing that is your prayer desire. Walk in the assumption that you are what you want to be now. I am healed now. Walk in the assumption that you are. If you feast on that and remain faithful to that mental diet, you will crystallize it. You will become it in this world. When I came back to New York in 1934, after 3 heavenly months in Barbados, I drank, I smoked, I got the boogie on, I went clubbing. I remember what Abdullah said to me, after you have proven this law, you will become normal, Neville. You will come out of that graveyard. You will, anybody in the graveyard? You know anybody in the graveyard? You don't. I do. Everybody does. Not you, because you're not in the graveyard. I remember what Abdullah had said, after you have proven this law, you will become normal. You will come out of that graveyard. You will come out of that dead past where you think you are being holy. For all you are really doing, you're being so good till you're good for nothing. I came back walking this earth a completely transformed person. From that day, I began to live more and more. So suspend judgment. Refuse to accept what reason and the senses now tell you. And if you remain faithful to the new God, you will become the embodiment of the thing that you're praying for. In New York City, you must go to a park to find a tree. Yet I had to walk the streets of New York as though I walked the streets of Barbados among coconut trees. To one's imagination, all things are possible. I walked feeling that I was actually walking the streets of Barbados, and in that assumption, I could almost smell the odor of the coconut-lined lanes. I began to create within my mind's eye the atmosphere I would physically encounter were I in Barbados. As I remained faithful to this assumption, somebody canceled passage, and I received it. My brother in Barbados, who never thought of my coming home, had the commanding urge to write me a strange letter. Oh, yeah. You see, there's one mind, one universal mind, and we all share that mind. And there's communication going on among us and between us, no matter where we are in that mind. We're sending texts all the time, sending and receiving messages all the time. You see, and there's something in you that is called the Holy Spirit, which is the voice for God that knows everybody's number and whispers in their ears, telling them what you need and telling you what they need. We're all part of something that was born way back in the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 1, called the internet. The internet. And we're all hooked up, and we all have one password. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. What? My brother had never written me before, but this time he did. And he thought that he originated the idea of my visit. My trip, had I paid for it, would have been $3,000, yet I did it without a nickel in my pocket. I have ways ye know not of, says Scripture, right? So, the dimensionally greater self took my assumption as the command and influenced the behavior of other people and influenced the man to cancel that first-class passage and did all the things necessary to bring my prayer desire into fruition. All I did was identify with the feeling of being there. I slept as though I were there. You got a healing desire, healing request? Sleep in it. Fall asleep knowing that it's already done. I am already there. I slept as though I were there. And the entire behavior of man was molded in harmony with my assumption. You change the mind of your doctors. You control what they see. Instead of going to confirm over and over and over what they've been seeing. Change their mind. I did not need to go to the ship and beg them for a passage, asking them to cancel someone who was booked first class. I did not need to write my brother and beg him to send me some money. He thought he originated the act. Actually, to this day, he believes that he initiated the desire for me to bring me home. I just let him think that way. My old friend Ab simply said to me, "You are in Barbados." And I started listening. You want to be there, wherever you want to be, then that's true for you. And so here's the close. I wanted to go to Jerusalem when I started the ministry. But I never did anything to act on it, to go to it. Because during that time, I didn't have no money to go to Jerusalem. I had just started this stuff. Do you understand what I'm saying? But before I know it, I was in Jerusalem. Didn't spend a dime. I wanted to go to Rome. I was in my 20s or something. I had no money to pay to go to Rome. But something possessed me. Possessed me, a desire. See, that means it's in your subconscious somewhere. Some unrealized desire that you suppressed because you couldn't. And you got all the and running out of gas and all this stuff. But it's the desire is there. But one day, when that desire possessed, see, one day it possessed me and said, oh. Next thing I know, I'm in Rome. Didn't pay a dime. I didn't know it, but I had a desire to go to Ocho's in Jamaica. Ocho Rios. I went to climb the waterfalls. I didn't have no money to go to Jamaica at that time. I was just in my 20s and 30s. Next thing I know, I'm climbing the water. I didn't pay a dime. That's my Barbados. I had a desire to go to Cayman Islands. Got my car note. Ain't got no money. Next thing I know, I'm looking at the crystal green waters. I didn't pay a dime. Heard about Honduras. That sounds interesting. I think I want to go to Honduras. Had to pay my rent. Got no money to go to Honduras. Next thing you know, I'm possessed by desire. See, the desire has its own way of coming into manifestation. Let the desire do what it came to do. If you know about it, if it comes to your mind, that means it's already done. It exists long ago in the future. I go before you to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare, I will come again, receive you unto myself. Who told you about some money? Mm-hmm. I wanted to go to the Million Man March. I had to pay something. Next thing I know, I'm sitting there at the thing. Didn't pay a dime. I had 3 children, 2 in elementary, 1 in middle. Then my mama gets sick. I need to take care of her too. None of them, all at the same time. I'm living large, 1 block from the water in Long Beach, Belmont Shore, doing all right. Now, we need a bigger place. I hadn't thought about a house, another house. Wasn't in my plan. But God knows what you need. When the need comes, he said, I'll provide all your needs according to riches and glory. You know, I didn't go looking for a house. Didn't call nobody. But when the need arose, the call comes. That's right. Pat Penny in real estate. Ahman, write this address down. We hadn't been talking about no house, but she knew what I need. She knows we're friends, so she knows my life. She knew. So that's God. Barbados, we were not communicating, but there is the internet. And there's a still small voice. And he speaks. The puppeteer, there's an orchestra. Go look at this house. So I move into the house before it closes escrow. Do you hear what I'm saying? House big enough for all of us. And then after getting into the house, he provides me, wait a minute. I called her one day, I said, Pat, before the escrow, how much money am I going to need? She said, who told you, who mentioned anything about money? I know that's right. I know that's right. Did I? That's right. And then after getting into it, God creates a new stream of income to make the payments. It don't come from my money, it's his. That's Barbados. All I do was step back and know that my God shall supply all my needs according to his riches and glory by Christ Jesus. I am and to this day, whatever it is that I need, I don't go looking for it. I don't go finding and pining or whatever. I just be still and wait till you say, where's that? Where's that? Just walk into it. I am in Barbados. Come on, let's say it. I am in Barbados. One more time. I am in Barbados. One more time. I am in Barbados. It is already done. It is already done. I'm talking about whatever it is that is your heart, that you desire, that you're praying for about. It is already done. Shut up and get out of the way. And so it is. Hey, that is good. God bless. Amen.
I pray that the message opened your mind. I pray that the music stirred your soul. I pray that the light and the energy fills your heart. I want to ask you to close your eyes, take that deep breath, and truly go within. This was forwarded to me from Unity by Dr. Ronnie, and this will be our prayer because I believe that it speaks to our everyday life. And it's personalized, but I'm going to speak it for all of us, and you can personalize it within yourself. It says, shine. We shine our divine light into the world. During times of meditation, prayer, and other spiritual practices, let us feel as though the loving light of God is shining directly upon us. Then let us, with this wonderful interlude, uplift and comfort us, letting us know we are one with all God is. In the place of oneness, I feel a glow with the light of God. This divine light shines within and blesses us with deep feelings of peace and joy. The light also shines from us, radiating into the world and all of those we meet. Let us share the fruits of the spiritual living in our encounters. We are peaceful, even in tense situations. We are kind, even if others are not. We are centered, even if chaos swirls around us. As we encounter the ups and downs of daily life, we shine the light of God. In Numbers 6:25, the Lord makes his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. We give thanks, and so it is.